how you doing? Welcome once again to Real Estate Reality, your live stream with Urban Hillsides Real Estate. Darren and Joe here to help you out every week, hopefully to give you a little education and some hope for this wild real estate market that we're in. Darren?
Absolutely. Yeah, good to see y'all. Nice hat, Joe.
Well, there's always a story to this. So I'm not usually a hat guy, Darren, as you know, but I do not have a haircut by my wife hairstylist, so I'm just trying to cover it up and look as good as I can. Secondly, it does say Northeast Los Angeles. If you're really into this hat, let me know. There's a gentleman out in Eagle Rock that makes these shirts, hats, all about Northeast Los Angeles. So a little advertising for him as well. So,
Joe, you can always choose my haircut. It's really easy, man.
It'll be coming probably someday.
Right. I don't know.
All right. Well, before we get into it, let me go ahead and get the legalese out of the way. Darren Hubert and Joe Cloninger are real estate agents at Keller Williams Los Feliz under the Urban Hillsides brand. All opinions expressed by Urban Hillsides or guests on this video are solely their opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Keller Williams Los Feliz. You should not treat any opinion expressed by Urban Hillsides as a specific inducement to make a particular investment or follow a particular strategy, but only as an expression of Urban Hillsides team's opinions. Videos for informational purposes only. All right, there you go. So, Darren, just a little technical thing. Do I sound okay on your side?
You sound fine.
See how it goes for later? It sounds very strange on my headphones. So. All right, so first things first, let's get into the topic. Let me pull up the... today's subject was about first-time home buyers and the idea of not looking for the first home buy, but maybe their first units. Darren, as I look it up, the link, do you want to open it up there?
Sure. Well, this article is specifically about owning rental property, so it also serves that purpose, just for those who are looking to consider owning rental property, pros and cons. But our focus was about how, we're always trying to get more people in the game and in the market. And one way to do that, which some people don't think of for a variety of reasons, is buying units, maybe a duplex or a triplex. And one of the things I think a lot of people don't understand, the most relevant, is that it actually increases your purchasing power tremendously. So where you may be able to qualify for a $800,000 single family, you could qualify for a $1.2 million multi-unit, and your payments could be less. And obviously that depends on the rent that the other unit generates, along with the owner-occupied units that you would live in.
Okay, well, let me get into this article. It comes from Investopedia, and as you said, we're going to talk about rental properties, pro and cons, but also the idea of, what that means to a first-time home buyer.
Right, we'll interject those details, as we navigate the article.
Okay, so rental properties, pros and cons. So let me do this. Guys, if you're following along, I'll go ahead and add this into the chat.
And this article, we spoke about this, it has a lot of good links to follow up with, even more details, which is really important to know if you're buying units.
Okay, so I'll go through it, Darren. When you think we should stop, just hold me back.
Okay.
Owning a rental property can be financially rewarding. If you're exploring this type of real estate as an investment, be aware of the risks and possibilities and responsibilities. Rental properties and overview. The idea of buying a home or apartment to rent out for profit may sound alluring, but buying a rental property for income and long-term capital appreciation can have its ups and downs. For example, the housing market can fluctuate depending on location, supply, and demand. and the economy.
I'll pause you there.
Go ahead.
For those, one of the best purchases I made back in 2005 ended up being 8 units. And what made it such a great purchase at that time was that although the market turned shortly thereafter, the easiest way to navigate a downturn in the market is have property that generates income. So while that property didn't appreciate and actually depreciated in value, the situation in real estate is that you got to play the long game, and a property that generates income allows you to play the long game compared to something that is you're just seeking appreciation from.
Financially speaking, in order for the rental property to be really profitable, the return for REIT should be greater than what you could earn in conservative investments such as bonds and dividend-paying blue-chip stocks because of the real risks involved. And on the human side, not everyone has the ability to manage property and tenants.
I will say that in our 20 years of doing this, we've helped a lot of people. I think of a client that decided to sell most of their units in the last year. Basically, for a decade, we were there assisting them and being good landlords. And even when they chose to go to a property management company, they were able to do so because they had enough margin at that point in profit where they wanted to relieve themselves of the ability to manage it. And you can also do that even if you own a duplex. In reality, you can have the second unit managed as long as the numbers make sense.
So, key takeaways. Rental properties can be financially rewarding and have numerous tax benefits, including the ability to deduct insurance, the interest on your mortgage, and maintenance costs. The drawbacks of having rental properties includes a lack of liquidity, the cost of upkeep, and the potential for difficult tenants and for the neighborhood's appeal to decline. It's key for investors in any type of real estate to stay on top of interest rates and consult a tax professional, particularly with the recent changes to the tax code. Pros of rental properties. There are several benefits to owning a rental property. They include tax benefits. The IRS allows you to deduct many expenses connected with rental property in the categories of ordinary and necessary expenses, improvements, and depreciation. This means that you can deduct your insurance, interest on your mortgage, maintenance costs, and physical wear and tear on your property. Depreciation may produce a nominal loss, which in turn you may deduct against other income. In other words, you may achieve net positive cash flow from the rental income minus expenses and still have a net loss for tax purposes. But be aware that the depreciation also reduces the cost basis of property for calculating capital gains when you sell your property.
Yep. So I'll take a simple example there. Let's say you buy a duplex and they're equal, same square footage for each, bed, bath. You will take half of the mortgage payment, of the insurance, of any exterior maintenance, of water, sewer, anything that is divided half and half. Half of that is treated like a business. Half of that is treated like a space that you occupy as a primary residence. And the half that's treated like a business, all the expenses associated with it are written off directly against the cost and offset the income, as well as the depreciation, which in my opinion is probably the biggest benefit of owning property. Although the value goes up, they allow you to depreciate the asset over time.
In addition, the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act offers a number of tax benefits for landlords. If you own a flow-through entity, also known as a pass-through business, and operate it as a sole proprietorship, limited liability company, partnership, or S corporation, you now may deduct an amount equal to 20% of your net rental income, as long as your total taxable annual income from all sources after deductions is less than $250,000 for singles or $500,000 for married couples who file jointly. Important,
Right.
Being a landlord is not everyone's cup of tea. Before jumping in, make sure you're willing to deal with everything from late or unpaid rents to tenants who damage your property.
Right. It is something you either need to absorb or pay a property manager to deal with. Usually a property manager cost is in the range of 6%. But But there are a lot of financial benefits if you choose to deal with it yourself.
Seasonal rentals. If you rent your property seasonally, you may use it yourself for 14 days per year, or 10% of the number of days that you rent to others at a fair market price. You still be able to deduct your expenses. 1031 exchange. In a 1031 exchange, you can sell a rental property and invest in another of like kind without paying capital gains taxes. Renting extra space. You can also treat a room or area of your home, such as a garage, basement, or accessory dwelling unit, like a rental, writing off a percentage of the mortgage interest and other expenses against its income. Although you should be aware of the potential pitfalls of renting out extra space, including local zoning rules.
And I will say that, in 2020, there were new ADU laws, and they made it much easier to build ADUs in multi-units. So if you get a duplex with a garage, you could choose to convert the garage to an ADU just like you could in a single family if you decided you want to move and have more units in the future.
Cons of rental properties. There are also drawbacks to owning a rental property. They include lack of liquidity. Real estate market, it can easily take several months to complete a sale. And if your time is driven by an emergency or other unexpected event, your need to sell fast might not garner the best price. Rising taxes and insurance premiums. The interest and principal of your mortgage may be fixed, but there is no guarantee that taxes will not rise faster than you can increase rents. Insurance premiums may also spike, as they have in the wake of natural disasters. Difficult tenants. Go ahead.
Yeah, very true. Particularly if you're adjacent to, much of LA and much of the areas we serve are considered high fire, but they're actually very close to city. If you're at the edge near a park or certainly in a more mountainous area, the prices for insurance have risen tremendously.
Difficult tenants. Despite your due diligence in vetting prospective renters, you could wind up with tenants who are not ideal. For example, they could be needy or demanding, pay late, forget to turn off the water, and so on. Or they could be destructive, in which case the depreciation allowance in the tax code may be sorely inadequate. You can, however, always add a rider to the standard lease form that spells out rules about occupancy, pets, smoking, tenants, insurance, and the like. Security deposit can also be helpful here. Darren, you want to talk about this?
Well, it's
another class altogether.
It is, sure. I think I'll make one comment, and that is if you have the ability to choose your own tenant, if it doesn't come with a tenant, I usually say, however you deliver the space, you can expect the tenant to manage it in that way. That's how I like to be a landlord, saying that I give you a space that's in great condition, it's visually appealing, I expect you to maintain it in this way. If you acquire tenants, that's a little more difficult. But setting the tone on the relationship is the most important part of a tenant-landlord relationship, and doing your part as a landlord is key as well.
And just to amen, we certainly reap the benefits and the non-benefits of that relationship when we sell. We've got to maneuver those tenants and maneuver the sale. It can be easy, it can be more difficult based on that initial relationship.
Yeah, tenants have an enormous amount of rights, and their rights are increasing, personally, to a point where I think it's more rights than the landlords have, which seems inappropriate. Which is inappropriate. But it's, if you navigate it well, it doesn't always work out perfect, but there are great benefits either way.
The next one is neighborhood decline. In an ideal scenario, your investment property will flourish amid other well-maintained dwellings and local amenities will improve. As a result, your cash flow will increase steadily and your costs remain stable. However, neighborhoods can change and your investment could depreciate over time. You should pay attention to the local politics where you invest just as you would where you live. With some due diligence, you can minimize this exposure.
Sure, most of our areas are not declining; they're appreciating. Being in LA, close to downtown city center, it's not an issue here. But there are things like zoning that could alter how a neighborhood is affected tremendously. So those are things to pay attention to. Typically, those things only change every 10 years, but it's true. Neighborhoods can't go down in value. So anytime you become an owner of property, whether it be units or single family, you should start paying attention to more politics and activities in the neighborhood.
And just to add to that, if you are from out of town, you're looking into a new town, definitely get a hold of agents that really know the area. Because I know, in 90065, that can change up into several different neighborhoods, lesser or better, and it can matter in a couple of blocks sometimes. Differences in value and that sort of thing. Okay, next is unfavorable change to tax code. The tax code needs to change. It could change in ways that would either reduce or eliminate some of all the tax benefits for home ownership and flow through businesses.
Right. That's topic of conversation now. So who knows where all that's going to end up. Rental income is considered passive income. So, it could very well change. Yeah.
Landlord role. Being a landlord, we're still on cons, aren't we? Landlord role, being a landlord is not for everyone. You may feel shy about increasing rents or be protective of the way others treat your property, which can lead to conflicts. You may even become friends with your tenants, or they already may be family or friends. If you cannot be firm about rent increases or property care, for example, you could wind up collecting rent that is well below market price or with a property that is undervalued.
Right. Very true. Seen it happen. It's hard. I think most of us, maybe not all of us, but a lot of us have empathy towards tenants and being a tenant and the cost of being a tenant. And you want things to be fair, but as a landlord, if you don't increase rent when the market warrants it, you are reducing the value of your property if you ever need to sell. So, come to some agreement with the tenants that's just mutually beneficial. And if it's more important for you to have tenants and that relationship, then just know what it means. If you choose not to raise the rent, then just, then just make sure they understand that and they appreciate it.
Upkeep. In maintaining a property, minor and major repairs arise. Some property owners can save money by doing the work themselves. However, most lack the time, tools, or skills for home repair. Expect to shell out periodic contractor fees.
It's true. Having the resources to keep those fees down are key, and it's another service we've provided. The people I was just thinking about who we're working with for 10 years, have used our resources that entire time. So having a constant pulse on resources, because they change over time, and knowledge of what needs to be done can change, and so that's very important. You need to be good at developing those relationships or knowing people who have them.
Yeah, periodic contractor fees. I think that makes it even scarier when they say that.
Right. Again, you get the tax write-off for the fees you pay. If you choose to be a landlord, even when you get the loan, they do not assume you're going to get 100% of rent when you qualify. They assume 80%. So as a qualifying component. So you're going to have some fees. You should have a savings account. Things will come up. The benefits will outweigh these components, but you need to be more of a planner, for sure.
Special considerations. Whether you are buying a primary home or a rental property, it is important to consider what's happening with mortgage interest rates. Low fixed rate mortgages debt is generally a good hedge against inflation. If you are a landlord, periodic rent increases are one way of offsetting inflationary rises in property upkeep expenses. Interest rates for a 30-year fixed mortgage in August 2021 hit 2.875%. Mortgage rates have averaged around 8% over the last 50 years. While these rates represent an opportunity, it is also important to remember that mortgage rates are typically higher for investment properties than for traditional homes.
They are slightly higher if it's a straight investment. Now, if you can still purchase small multi-units, duplex, triplex, up to 4 units at the normal rates. If you're doing it as an owner-occupant, your rates do not go higher. Your down payment does not rise. You can do as little as 3.5% down on an FHA loan. So in that case, it really is an incentive to purchase units if these other components work for you.
Well, that looks to be the end of the. Sorry.
Yeah.
What do you want to finish out here
Um,
on?
Well, I'll say this. I think the most important thing as we started is saying that we just want you to understand opportunities. What options are out there that maybe you're not going from 800,000 to 1.2 million, which is scary for some, but maybe you're going from I qualify for 500,000 and there's nothing available to I can buy a $700,000 duplex. And that could work. It really could work. It could just get you into a home purchase. Your rates do not go up. Your fees do not go up. And actually your cost will go down. Additionally, when you factor in the depreciation, which that article has a specific link to, even the income you generate from that rent, more often than not, comes out as a negative. So it improves your tax situation on your own personal income in that process.
So you may have been thinking about buying your first home, but again, talk to us and maybe it makes sense to be a landlord first. There certainly are some benefits there. Okay, so next, we're going to talk about, we've got solds. So one thing we wanted to do is congratulate our clients Teo and Laura. They are very soon to take possession of their home, but their transaction went through, and yeah, good job, guys. Took a while, but we got it done.
Yep. And I'll say now we're moving into the helping them prep the home for them to move in, which is common for us. Yep.
Okay, so let's go with solds. Let's see. Sold from the last 7 days. Found some interesting ones there. So, really interesting ones. We had some pretty monumental sales increases, so just bear with me.
And this week we have almost an equal again on the grouping I have. There's 34 solds, 33 actives. Inventory has been steadily rising. Every now and then there's a burst, meaning plus 20 or more new actives. But this week they're equal, one more sold than active.
Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen. And let's see. Let's see. So the first one I'm going to look at is 1406 Linda Rosa. do you think we get a little bit of a slowdown being here in August for some people in terms of buying and selling? It's kind of a nod.
Certainly, there are fewer new listings. You know, we joke about, at least in our side of town, you don't have the huge impact of school, you know, and the school season. But I think I'd say this year there may have been there may be a mild impact. School kids have been out of school for a year and a half. My son just went back to school today for the first time, full time. So I think we might see a little slowdown. There are some real pattern and habit changes because of that for any parents.
Well, as you're saying, yeah, you know, it's definitely a shock to the system. The kids haven't been in school. That affects everything else around life. So, yeah, there's some adjustment going on.
It does, and I would
relief,
say,
but also adjustment.
yes. I would also say the areas we serve, they used to not be as many families buying in these areas, but there are a lot more families coming into these communities now than there have been in the past. So yeah, it's going to impact these communities more because of that.
So let's go ahead and take a look. Let's see here. So 1406 Linda Rosa Avenue. It is in Eagle Rock. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,487 square feet of living space. Sold to me for a record $1,610,000. It's on a lot size 8,692 square feet, and Days on Market just came out. So talks of views, mountains, city lights, and hills. Well, no, what am I saying? It's sold.
Yeah.
It was already sold.
It came out as a sold listing, so probably sold off market.
What's that? Brad Keys, listing agent at Keys Real Estate, along with Noreen Bertanian and Annie Keys, some relations. So, riddle me this, Darren. What do you think? What's not on here? Why did this sell so fast off market?
$1,200,000 up to $1,610,000, sold 400,000 over list price. You know, as you're prepping a property, meaning that there's always a timeline. Often there's prep; it could be months, but there's at least weeks. And in the process of getting a listing and preparing to go to market, somebody might have spoken to a neighbor, somebody might have reached out to another agent. In this case, I'm not seeing the agents on my side here, but it looks like it was an internal sale.
Yeah.
So, you know, it could have been a neighbor, could have been somebody from their own database that they already had as a client. They reached out and they said, we have this great listing coming up. To sell 400,000 over the list price, that's kind of strange. You don't see that very much. Off market, 400,000 over. But that's the way they're posting it. That's what it looks like. I mean, I understand why it's sold at that price point. I think it was priced low. It's eclectic. It's charming. I don't know if they're local agents, but
They are. I think he tends to stay up there. I've seen him a little bit.
okay.
Yeah, definitely unique, definitely eclectic. Obviously, somebody fell deep in love with this property because it's not completely fixed up, but it's definitely unique. So,
Right.
all right. Next one is, let's see. $4984 Vincent Avenue. Let's see.
So these are both in Eagle Rock.
Yeah. So, it's kind of, supposed to be. is slow today. That's what we're on.
What's that?
I said MLS is slow today. I guess we're all on it. Just keep cycling.
I see it on my end.
It's 4984 Vincent Avenue. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,364 square feet. Sold for $1,650,001. Lot size 6,622 square feet. And days on market, it took 9 days. What's going on with my...
They did some really nice things here. And they have some nice outdoor destinations. They put some energy into the landscaping to create them and the flow. It's not some nice mature trees. The interior finishes, the built-in cabinets, the bathrooms are very nice. Got an open shower concept in one bathroom. Looks like custom vanities. There you go.
So it was about the surfaces for you and the...
Yeah, it's an original house. It's got a nice it's got a nice porch, a deep porch. It's very clean on the inside, with it being all white and simple. Original windows, which are fantastic and charming. You know, as long as they're all functioning, it looks like it's remodeled. So I'm assuming they are. So it's not a huge house, but it's very livable and great indoor-outdoor flow.
$1,298,000 list, going to $1,650,000.
Right. It's it's the example of finishes do matter in our market. They will command a lot more, not only on the house, but then creating the outdoor destinations.
Yeah, once again, right, it's all relative. You know, this is somebody from New York or a higher priced market, and this is a steal. $650,000.
Yeah.
All right, so listing agents Tracy Doe, Eva Rose Burgess, and buying agent Alexandra Newman. So congrats to them. Next one. It's 850 Rome Drive. This is another wow. Good for Amy Bennell. Friends. Conrad. Selling this picture up.
Wow. It's the Gray Tarp House.
So let's go through the pictures. It's 850 Rome Drive, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,842 square feet of living space. Sold at $1,345,000. List price $900,000.
You're breaking up there, Joe.
Can't hear me.
I can hear you now, but you're coming in and out.
Interesting. All right. Let's see what's going on. So what you say about this? You started $1,345,000. You fix it up, and what do you think?
Gosh, man. So it's easy to look at a house like this and say, okay, 1.6 compared to other things we just looked at, right? 1.6,
Right.
1.7. So the tough thing about this is that it's got to be a cash purchase. So somebody who bought it had a lot of money. Is there enough margin there to actually flip it and resell it? You know, maybe. There's certainly enough margin to justify buying it and remodeling it and living in it because now you're paying a market rate and you're getting a house that you want. $1,345,000 for a major fixer sounds crazy, but when you look at it in that way, that it could be $1,600,000, $1,700,000 house, and if you have the financial wherewithal to make it work for you, then great. I mean, you could have gotten a hard money loan too. That's another option. Some people, out there may not know about that, but rather than cash, you can end up buying with what's called a hard money loan. You pay typically 2 points. It's an 8% rate. You get, if you have typically like 50% down, so you don't need all cash. You do the work and you finance out of that loan. It costs you money to hold the loan, but it could be worth it for some if they want to take on that project.
Wow. Okay. Congratulations, Amy.
Who sold it, Joe?
Say again?
Who sold it? Who was the buying agent?
Oh.
Oh, it's all right.
Looks like Marcus Kiernan, Reservoir Partners.
Okay, he is a guy who does flipping.
So we may see this up into $2 million.
We will. They'll probably add a little bit of square footage, and I mean, he's broken some price points in neighborhoods where I've seen him go. Yeah.
Okay, so the next one is what I thought might be buyer wins. So this is 559 Milton Court. Another eclectic one.
Oh, an A-frame.
So this is 559 Milton Court, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,520 square feet. Sold at $1,340,000, and the list price was $1,350,000. So slight win, but a win nevertheless. It's on a lot size of 6,941 square feet. This is brought to us by Kelly Gleason. Kelly Gleason, broker, and the buyer was the buying agent was Carlo Honanian, Silver Spoon Properties.
Yeah, super charming house. Yeah, it looks great. A nice restoration. It's not original, but the remodeling that was done, I don't know if it was done to prep for sale or if it was previously done. There's enough period appropriate components and choice of cabinets, countertops. It all makes sense. It looks great. It's a good property.
It's a different way to live, but yeah, very attractive to a lot of people. Okay. Let's see, that would be 1169 Isabel Street.
The tiled yard.
169 Isabel Street. 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 972 square feet. Sold at $875,000. See how I'm just used to saying $1 million? It's $875,000. The lot size 5,617. This started at $899,000. So a little bit of a win there. Days on market 27. Brought to us by our good friend Jeremiah Atkins. What are you doing, Jeremiah?
I'm struggling with something here, man. So I looked through a lot of the house and it looks great, but my first photo has a tiled front yard. My second photo. And that makes it look like, oh, it's a fixer. Or that's absolutely not a
impressive.
draw. I mean, just removing that and throwing anything else on it would have made it look cleaner. But everything else looks great. I completely agree. This is a buyer win. I think they would have gotten more money if they would have removed that tile.
Remove the tile, and yeah, number, yeah.
We always look for cohesion. That's what we talk about with potential sellers. Sure, you can completely remodel every property, but if you want to invest the minimal amount and get the most return, let's hit that. 90% of the property or the majority of the property has a certain style and feel. In this case, the interior and even some of the yard destinations other than the front yard have a good feel. It's painted, it's white, it's open, but that front yard does not match the rest of the house.
I would have left the outside to the last of the photo set.
Sure, at minimum, if you're going to leave it that way, or maybe even pan up on the photo and not get that ground. Oh well, it is what it is.
Melissa Yan.
Good for the buyer.
Melissa Yan was the buying agent, so congratulations to her. Next one is 3671 Lowry Road.
I believe we showed the house next door to this, Joe.
Three 671 Lowry Road, 3-bedroom, 3-bath. Looks familiar. 2,869 square feet of living space. Nice. Sold at $2,450,000. It's on a lot of $7,192. The list price, $2,498,000. So, days on market, 23 days. And fairly new built. Built 2009. Brought to us by Patricia Rubin, Sotheby's, Alan McCullum, as listing agents, and buying agents, Mary Headley. What can you say? Looks like a great house.
It does look like a good house. The neighborhood's fantastic. I think the price is right. You have some opportunities in that garage, which the photo there of the second floor in the garage is pretty awesome. So it's like the house plus what could be an enormous studio. Yeah, and nice views from the front yard. I think it's mostly all front yard. But yeah, great house. Good buy.
Let's go ahead and go into actives. So these are actives from the last 7 days in Northeast Los Angeles. Let's see. Where is it? Where would you like to start?
Oh, on the actives. Let's look at
2522 Griffith Park.
sure.
Interesting. So, Darren, as I looked at this, we were up for this listing. They did just what they had to do. It's probably what we would have done. That's what I thought. In terms of, actually, I think we might have done actually a little more. But I don't know. What's your opinion? 2522 Griffith Park Boulevard. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,198 square feet of living space. It's on the market at $1,299,000. Lot size is 4,747. And open house is tomorrow, 12 to 2 p.m. Days on market, it's been 5 days. It's by Joe Reichling.
Right. And what did this sell for, Joe? It sold like 2-3 months ago.
I want to say it was, I'll look it up. 9.
In the nines, right. So I think we told the client if we did some work that we could get up to like
I'm sorry.
one.
Sale price $990.
Yeah. Yeah. So we told them they'd get up to like 1.2. I think we planned on doing a little less, actually, maybe some different choices, but and it's it's going out right there at the price point we targeted, but they chose to sell it as a fixer and end up here where they're at, so they pushed the margin forward to a developer. It just goes to show in this case that it's a relationship-based business. We didn't know who they were, but they got a referral from someone, and they used that referral, and
well, I think too, right? The case was somebody had passed away. The family was from Minnesota and Northern California.
Yeah.
I think it just worked better for their peace of mind to let it go.
Yeah, it's the referral. They just felt more comfortable going with somebody who was a referral. They left a lot of money on the table, and now the next person will reap that benefit. But it's a fantastic neighborhood, and it's a clean house, and it's move-in ready. There are projects left that a new owner can dive into for sure.
I think one of the good things they did was, and it's really the only improvement is that door.
Yeah, there was the access in and out on a lot of older properties is strange. Getting direct access out to the backyard was something we had discussed for sure. Flow is not only finishes but flow. There's some small things you can do sometimes that make an entire property feel different by opening up a doorway or a slight alteration on the floor plan.
They did a great job. I mean, we saw it when it was quite a bit of disrepair. So.
Yeah, there was still a lot of stuff in it too. So, yeah, it should sell fast.
Okay. But I think the expectation there might be
to have the price go up.
Yeah. Okay, what's another one?
Let's see here. Can do Waverly, 3100 Waverly.
Waverly. It's in Los Feliz. It's 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,012 square feet. It's on the market at $1,495,000. Lot size 5,069, and days on market. It's been 7 days so far. And this is brought to us by Eileen Moreno and Laura.
Yeah, a gated entry. Nicely gated pillars, super clean on the inside, and good square footage at 2,000 square feet. Great neighborhood.
Really good price, I want to say.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I picked it out at that square footage, a finished house. So yeah, I expect this price will go up. The one negative on Waverly there, I should know this answer, but off the top of my head I don't, is if you're facing the 5 freeway and you're getting traffic, that reduces the value. It does. So I don't know if that relates to this one, but if it does, then it somewhat makes sense. A little more on the price.
What side is it on? Actually, I think this sold it sold a couple years ago. This is on the other side. It's not on the hillside.
Oh, good.
So think
Okay.
it's all right. You don't get the view, but you don't get the noise.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Next. What's the next one you'd like?
What about 1035 Olancha Drive?
Okay, 1035 Alondra Drive. It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 1,249 square feet of living space, and it's listed at $1,099,000. Lot size 5,820 square feet, and it's on market 5. Looks to be an open house. Let's see, is that Saturday? Let's see, that's Saturday. 2 to 4. Sunday. It's brought to us by Adam Gray.
Right, so the drop, I like the layout, the floor plan, the feel of the neighborhood, the yard. All that's great. Kitchen and bathroom. Even though they're not original, they'd be better if they were original. They're just, the choice of materials there is not so great. And they just feel dated, like 80s or 90s. Which is not going to help it sell. I mean, a good agent can come in and basically say, okay, fine, pull out the countertops, get a new sink. You can even use the cabinets. We would have done that. We would have ripped out the countertops. We would have put in a more modern sink. We would have changed the knobs. Gotten rid of the bull nose. It replaced what we call the boob light in the kitchen there. Some of those basic things. It seems low grade is what I'm looking for. It's not even a period thing. It's just that it seems kind of low end on the finishes in the bathrooms and kitchens. And bathrooms and kitchens help sell houses. So for, maybe $2,000 to $3,000, it could have had a much different feel in those spaces.
All right, well, we'll see where that one goes. Anything else, Darren?
Randolph, just because, we keep getting drawn back to that area. This actually looks like a value at $800,000 for 1,300 square feet. Yeah, look at this. This is a great house.
Okay, so it figures it out. 3816 Randolph Avenue. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,318 square feet. Wow, $799,000. List price. Lot size 7,491. It's been on the market for 4 days now. This is brought to us by Maribel Intense.
Right, it says some of the similar shortcomings, but it's $799. The price is a lot better. It's clean. It's completely clean, and the same thing. Those, $2,000 to $3,000 can go a long way and impact the house, and at this price, that's tremendous. This is a good price. This might be the best value we've seen today.
Well, MLS did not allow me to get to the pictures, guys. So I apologize for that. You can check it out yourself, of course. 20,000 of the agent just sitting on the house.
Yeah.
This is a good deal. It's
Yeah.
it's probably going to think to shove it. Just
Time will tell. Out-of-area agent. It's interesting. You never know what'll happen. I think if it's a local agent, you can pretty much count on a consistent pattern and response. But out of area, we've done it ourselves. Throw something out quickly, and it could be accepted. I assure you, there will be agents trying.
Okay. Well, great. Anything else, Darren?
Gosh, I like today's topic. Just trying to get more people in houses and also make it make sense financially, be a good investment, and maybe even cost less. Again, sometimes in this market, you can even buy a duplex for less than you can buy a single family. And if you're transitioning from an apartment, it's a big step up, even house-wise. You can carve out all the benefits to you, particularly if you're not getting a tenant, if it's not coming with a tenant. So, yeah, I like considering that option for people and having that conversation.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. It's Monday, 2 to 3. Tell your friends, tell your enemies. Hit the like button. Smash that bell on YouTube. We need your help.
Hey,
Have a
Joe.
great week. Take care now.
Joe, wait. Before you leave, buddy, do we have comments in there?
Let's see.
Oh, we had a comment from Theo.
Right. Hey, guys. Great presentation. Getting called back to work, so I'll circle back later to watch the rest, but this is all really good information. Very helpful to me as a newish landlord.
Cool.
Glad we could help. So, guys, we'll talk to you later. Again, have a great week.
Cool. Bye.
Bye. See ya.